So much for joining. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Akin. Hi, Abba. Hi, Emeka. Hi, Eniola. How are we doing this afternoon? Some people are not in the afternoon. They're not in the afternoon on this call, or in the evening. They are probably in the, or maybe they're in the afternoon, not in the evening, right? Uh, Thank you so much for joining. You can please introduce yourself. Let us know where you're joining from. This is the sixth session we're having this year on the Growth Camp, and super excited to have everyone join us. First and foremost, before we start, shout out to everyone who was available for the Growth Camp session that happened in Abuja. It was a huge success. Thank you so much. We have one of the speakers online, Sonia. We had such a fantastic time, and we hope to be able to double down on this and do more of it. I've had a couple of people reach out to say, "Oh, we should have another one again in Abuja." If people are going to get me sponsors this time, I'm down. But yes, also big shout out to a lot of people who sponsored, who personally contributed. I'm excited that we did this, and thank you for impacting and investing in lives. It was a huge success, and because of that, we had a couple of people who asked questions that we couldn't answer on the call during the session because it was getting late, and I thought it was going to be wise for us to have like another session this month where people can ask questions and we will be able to answer them. This will last for a couple of hours, 1 hour probably, or maybe until I'm able to answer everybody's questions, and we'll then have the video out on YouTube. For those of you who are joining for the very first time, welcome to the Growth Camp. What we really do here is we're a community of marketing, sales, and product professionals, and we're building a community so that we can upskill each other, right? So one of the things we do on a monthly basis is we organize online sessions like this where we are able to talk about marketing topics, sales topic, and we are able to impact people's life, depending on the cadre in which you are in your career, especially in the marketing field. This is a great community for you to join, to be able to learn, to be able to ask questions. We now have our Telegram link live. Sukami, please, you can drop a link to all our social media channel and our community group so that people who are not in the community can join, where we have conversations, where people ask questions, and questions regarding anything really. So if you're having issues at work, this week I did email marketing for 2 people who just reached out and say, oh, they would like to do automation in email marketing. How can I help them? I jump on the call with them. I help them set it up. And yes, I did a 2-month automation for them, right? So their company is enjoying the benefits. They also now know how to do it. They can then apply, what they've learned into it's now real life for them. They can apply these things. And more of that are the things that we do back end. And what we do with this session is for people to be able to also learn. But for today, we have a couple of questions that people have asked, and we will be answering those questions. This is, like I said, this happens once a month, and we are going to have another one next month, and more often this way, right? So we have the list of questions ready. However, one of the things I would like to do is to prioritize people that are online. So if you have like any questions regarding marketing, sales, your work, any challenges you're facing, or you are just a business owner and you want to, you have challenges you're facing and you want us to talk about it, this is free consultation. This is free. This is a free ground. We also have like experts in the house who can jump in and answer your questions. So this is really a great place for you to be able to ask any of the questions, any question that is bothering you around what you need to do, right? Like I said earlier, this is Ask Me Anything, and I am ready to be able to answer the questions. So if there is anyone, you can use the button, you can use the chat button if you don't want to talk. I would really like it if you unmute and speak, but if you're shy, like myself, you can use the message, you can use the send message feature on the Google Meet call, and you can ask your question. Another way you can do is you can just raise your hand, I'll call you, then you can ask your questions. So we can go straight into it. If anybody have any question, I will give us about 30 seconds to see if we have anybody with a question before we go straight into what the questions that a couple of people have currently asked. So any question from us? Okay, please the community link. All right, let's start with Abba. Please feel free to on.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Okay. So this question is like a carryover because during the North Star conference, I wanted to ask him, but I had to leave earlier.
Okay.
When you're talking about marketing and social media management and how you kept saying social media management and digital marketing is not it's just half of what marketing is.
Yes.
And then so my question was more about businesses that are tailored to like digital platforms. Like what do they do different to tap into that full scope of marketing?
Can you give me an example of one business that you think is a digital platform?
So like I do social media for a company that makes games. Like they have an app. So basically all we do is promote our game on social media, get more people to sign up and play. So we
Awesome.
don't really have like a physical card or anything.
Great. That's a good question. So I get it, and I understand the reason why primarily your marketing is done online, because I mean the end product is also consumed online and not offline. So it makes a lot of sense that you are putting in a lot of effort into marketing within that community. However, there is a network effect around why people game, or why people should game with you, or people should consume your product, your gaming product. And as much as you want to spend the majority of your budget on digital marketing or other platforms that are digital, right? One of the things you also probably want to do is your goal would probably to get acquisition, right? You want to get more people to use your product, to use your platform, and all of that is done online. So you're probably doing social media advertising, you are doing programmatic advertising, you're doing video content creation, and all of that. However, there is an opportunity also for you to be able to do this offline. Example is a community meeting in university. So I will give you an example of a game called Trends. I consulted for them last year. They are in the US and they are trying to. So it's a perfect example for me. They are trying to get into the African market, right? This game is tailored towards students because it's a lot of IQ conversation games, right? Where students can play and also earn. And they've been doing lots of digital marketing. People are actually getting on board, but at some point, their growth reduced, especially in a market like Nigeria, their growth reduced. And they continue to spend like lots of more money on marketing to think that, oh, maybe because there's a new competitor in town, that's why they're not getting enough attraction as they should. And the simple thing I told them was, guys, if you already have a community of people who are actually using your product, why don't we visit each campus and have a session, maybe an online competition that is brought offline in a physical gathering? And we did that across three universities: University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, and we also did the University of Ilorin, right? Where we had like gaming competitions, people were able to come in, different faculties. At the end of the third month, at the end of the month after the campaign, one of the things that we saw was that there was a huge growth in their number. And a lot of those set of people were gotten offline and not online. What online will do for you is really to sustain your entire marketing campaign, right? Top of the mind awareness, that is what it does. But there is still opportunity for you to be able to run billboard depending on your budget, right? Because gaming is now, a lot of people that now game are they also want benefits. They want to get a benefit from just gaming. So I don't want to spend my time a lot on the video games and all of that, right? People want to say, how do I also benefit from playing from you, right? And you can do a lot of that communication, a lot of trust can be built offline when you do, especially activated where you have people who are your target audience. So for example, like I said, these guys, students were your target audience. They just went to the school, did an offline gaming competition around their games also, and a lot of people were able to join. It was actually very interesting because they had like a 3D billboard, right? They had like a 3D billboard where you have like two people with console and people are watching like the games that they were playing. It was a lot of IQ, mathematics, English spelling competition. It was quite interesting, right? Because a lot of people were able to learn from it. So those are the opportunities that you have outside online. Online is great. Online is great because what online does is you are able to like track your acquisition, for example, right? You are able to know what your cost per acquisition is, what your lifetime value for customers are. You are also able to track the channels in which they are coming from, right? So that would help you align where exactly should we be spending our budget. Should we be doing more of Facebook ad or more of Twitter ad or less programmatic advertising? Once you have like your entire funnel set up, you know exactly where these customers are coming from. So that's the advantage that online does gives to you. However, there's still opportunity to be able to reach out to a lot more people or to just build brand trust. A lot of people that run Coca-Cola does not necessarily need to continue to run a billboard advertising. But the reason why they continually have to do it is their competitor is also shoving content off your throat, right? So they also have to be able to play in that space, right? So there is huge opportunity for digital products to be able to also do offline advertising, offline activation, because the people online are also people offline. Remember, they are not different people. They are not. I'm currently online. Once I close my laptop and I decide to take a walk within my estate or even drive around town, I also have to see certain communications, right? So that's an opportunity for brands to be able to reach out to my person, right? So there is a huge opportunity for brands to also be able to explore, offline marketing. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
All right, great. Does any other person have like any question? Let me check the chat. Okay, no question currently in the chat. So does anyone have like any question around marketing, sales, any challenges you're facing at work? Any question? Before we go to the questions that we currently have, like I said, we have like a couple of questions and we'd like to go straight into it. Okay, Emeka.
All right. Good evening, boss.
Good evening.
Thank you for the session. I think this is my first time of connecting with, like I just saw it on Instagram and I got here. Okay. So my question actually, is, I don't know how to ask, but I'm going to just ask anyhow. Please just pardon me. Okay.
Right.
Uh, so I started marketing with, affiliate marketing, none of those affiliate marketing, whatever, before entering into marketing fully. The very first company I work for is a tech company, a cloud-based consulting company. I tell you, I struggled a lot. I struggled most especially when my then marketing manager left. So it was like all the responsibility was on me, and it was funny because everything that we asked him, I don't even know. I tried on my best, like I tried. I'm still there currently. So they have the academy side. I'm really doing well with the academy side because it's with students. I already know how to interact with students, how to run ads and everything. Now my question is, because I'm thinking of leaving the company next month. uh, I don't like the back and forth with you've not sold anything here, you've not made anything here, you've not done anything here, right? So my question actually now is that how do I know my area of strength, right, in marketing? Yes, I've done sales at some point. I did I worked as a sales consultant for almost 7 months, right? But my question is, how do I know my area of strength when it comes to marketing, and how do I get better? Because that's another area. Second thing is, how do I get better? First thing is, how do I know my area of strength and what I should apply for and what I should not apply for? And second is, uh, how do I, like grow in this marketing field? That's just my question.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. First and foremost, thank you for joining us your first time. You deserve a round of applause. Thank you for joining. Secondly, I also don't want you to feel bad because you are not making sales, right? And it's also good that you are taking responsibility. It means that you care. A couple of people would not even care whether the company is making sales or not. It's like, I'm putting in my effort. I had a consultation with a real estate company today, and I told them sometimes your marketing is not necessarily bad. Your sales or your product is just terrible.
Mm.
It might not necessarily be your fault. It might not be a marketing problem. A lot of organizations think that because the product is not selling, it's a marketing problem. What if your marketing is great and you move leads from marketing to sales, and you one day you just join a sales call and you realize that your sales guy doesn't even know how to persuade or don't know how to talk to people,
Mm.
right? There is like a lot of there are a lot of people that are not skilled enough to be able to move conversation from marketing to final sales. So that could really be a challenge that you're currently facing. It might not necessarily be that your marketing is not working. It's just that your sales guys are not great enough to be able to convert your leads to sales. Another problem could be the product. Regardless of the amount of money you spend on the product, on marketing, if your product is shitty, nobody is really going to buy it. And let's just be sincere with ourselves. That's the fact, right? You can spend thousands of dollars on marketing, but at the end of the day, one of the things you want are returning customers. And when people buy it for one time and they realize that this does not meet their need or does not give them the desired satisfaction, the current alternative that they have, they are not going to come back. So at that point, you feel like, oh, a lot is going on into marketing, but we are not getting sales. So I'm not saying the marketing is perfect. I'm just saying this can be some of the other reasons why the company is not making sales. Now, back to the question in which you asked, like, how do you streamline on how do you exactly uh, know where to focus on the marketing? In the very early days, I would tell you for a fact that you should try and focus on a lot of things. Focus on a lot of things. Reason why that is, I don't know if you have the term T-shaped marketing. It means that you have depth in something, but you have breadth across the various spots. So you can have depth in strategy, but know how to run ads, know how to create content, know how to do analytics, know how to build brand, know how to do product positioning and all of that. In your early days, don't limit yourself to one core thing. You want to experiment as much as possible, right? I think this is one of the advantage I had while I started marketing. I started in an advertising agency, right? That had every other position working directly opposite me. I was leading digital marketing, right? But I had content guys, I had account planning guys, I had all of them. So I could learn from them. So another time when I moved to another new advertising agency, I was pretty much doing everything. I was the one who was doing account management. I was the one who was doing posting. I was the one who was writing content. I was the one who was doing running ads, right? And early days, I knew that I needed to learn a lot. So that's what I would tell you right now. However, you would like struck the chord, because you would get to a point whereby out of the everything you're trying, you will know that there is one of them that when you do it, you do it pretty well. Then your second stage of your career, you want to focus on that, right? Because during early days, you're probably like an executive in a company, and an executive in a company would mean that beyond your roles, you will probably want to do more things. But now, when you want to move into like a manager's position, or you are ready to take that career leap, you need to know how to do one thing and know how to do it pretty well, like
Mm.
the A to Z of it. So it could be, brand management you want to focus on. It could be digital marketing, right? It could be analytics, it could be strategy, it could be growth marketing, right? Any of that you want to focus on, I would say the second year of your career, deep down into it, like drive down into it and understand exactly how it works, every nitty-gritty of it. Because when you get to a manager's position, you are not supposed to know how to do everything. You are just supposed to have an idea on how to do anything. If you act like any manager in the house, they would have somebody in their team that probably knows how to run ads better than them, or that knows how to write content better than them. But the advantage that they have sitting as a manager is the fact that they can oversee what they are doing. Like my performance marketer cannot come to me and chat rubbish, because I used all my life to run ads. I know exactly how it works, right? He might be an expert in it. He might even know how to do it a lot better than me. But I can have conversations with him. I can correct him on what I think he needs to do, just based on what the company objective is. My content person might be the writer, but at some point I have also learned how to do it. I know exactly how it works, so I can contribute when we are having conversations, right? So that is where you want to get to, right? So early days, you really want to make sure that you are a T-shaped marketer. Have breadth in a lot of things, but have depth in one thing. What it is, I don't know, right? For me, early days, it was performance marketing. I was pretty good at performance marketing, right? But I knew how to do a little bit of every other thing, right? And from that, I think that's what even informed my career in growth marketing, because the other extensive part of digital marketing would now you doing like growth marketing and the rest, right? So and that was it for me. Early days, I was pretty much doing everything. I was a mediocre in the majority of the things, but I knew that digital marketing was my core, right? And that has helped me as I begin to grow in my career. You focus on it, like the 80 to 20% rule. You want to focus 80%, you know it's pretty great, but you also don't want to neglect the remaining 20%. So that's the way to grow. Try as many things as possible. You know, don't know when somebody is doing content, you want to learn how to do it. When they are running marketing ads, you want to learn how to do it. Learn how to do a lot of things, but quickly find that one thing that you love to do and double down on it. And you have your career, I mean, at least moving in the right trajectory. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. The second part is how to grow now, how to get better in
Want to get what?
how to get better, right, in digital marketing or growth marketing.
There's only one way to grow better, and it sounds very cliche. It's by doing. You grow by doing. You grow by having to do, like focusing your time, your energy on that particular thing. If it's digital marketing, you want to focus your energy on, get companies, even if, like get companies and say, you guys, I will run out for you for free. Like you want to learn, you want to make like loads of mistakes. Yeah, digital marketing is big, by the way, right? I know a lot of people talk about digital marketing and they think it's just, people think social media marketing is the same as digital marketing because they limit it to just Facebook ad, Twitter ads, YouTube ad, and the rest. Digital marketing is big, is so diverse that you can be an expert in it, then somebody, another thing comes up, boom, and you realize that you don't even know how to do that particular one, right? So there is like a lot to be able to learn. YouTube is your best friend if you're a marketer or you're a digital marketer. YouTube is absolutely your best friend. There is nothing you want in this world that you will not find on YouTube. I can tell you that for a fact. When it comes to digital marketing, there is nothing you want in this world. There are schools there are like individuals who have created like a 10-hour resources on YouTube that when you learn it, you move from a starter to a mid-level digital marketer by just investing in that 10-hour course that they've created, especially on a particular subject. Like I said, digital marketing is big. So if the person does like a 10-hour content on Facebook advertising, and they take you through every step, every dimension of Facebook advertising, when you are done with that, believe me, you'll move from being a beginner to a mid-level. The only difference that would separate you from an expert and where you are right now is going to be how much you are able to practice what you've, right? How much you're able to practice what you learned. That's what's going to separate you really from what's it called? Somebody with an expert. So like I said, it's practice, practice, practice as much as possible. That's the way to grow. That's the way to grow in anything. You want to make sure you are involved, right? You want to make mistakes very early and you want to learn, right? That's the way you want to grow.
Thank you, boss. Thank you so
All
much.
right, no problem. You're welcome. Paul. Paul
Yes.
asked a question.
Good evening.
Hey, bro, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. I'm glad to be around. So I'm a business developer, and I know we do a little bit of marketing, but on an industry level, mostly B2B. So I want to know, what was the point of convergence between marketing, or what marketing department should a business developer cling towards to enable the business development side of whatever in industry? I'm in the agricultural industry anyway, but I want to know, just the way you were speaking, even for digital marketing alone, you just mentioned that it's a lot of aspects to it. But for a business developer, what kind of marketing should a business developer leverage more? You mentioned 80%, 20%. So what should be the 80% for a business developer when it comes to marketing? Thank you.
Awesome. Great question, Paul. When it comes to any organization, there are only two ways in which you get leads. It's either inbound or outbound. There's no more than that. It's either inbound or outbound. It's either you go and meet them or they come to meet you. Now, the original template for business developers or sales individuals who work B2B majorly has been that you are reaching out to people on LinkedIn, you're sending out cold emails, or you're doing cold calls, right? Now, when I started business development, this was what I was doing. And I did it, like anything I decide to do, I do it very well. And I did that consistently for 3 months, and I only had one client, right? And I got frustrated. So I reached out to my line manager and said, guy, this is not working. I want to go back to what I know how to do. I was like, guy, calm down. So he connected me with somebody in Israel. The guy is the CEO of another B2B company, and I had a conversation with them. And that was what changed my game. And I will tell you, if you are a business developer, know how to do SEO. It's not something you hear all the time, but I can tell you based on his advice, it's something that has worked for me. See, a lot of people, remember that when buyer's journey, right? Whether it's a consumer buying or a business buying, everybody goes online to go and search for what they want, right? It's always going to be stimulus to search. I need to find a business that does payment integration in Africa. They've never been to Africa, so they will go online to search. And it's the information that they get online that they get to do business with. You are in agri, for example, agricultural industry, for example. Your core audience, when they go and search for information, where did they go and search for information? It's really going to be online, or maybe like a community or an event, right? So you want to make sure that you dominate the keyword that is related to the business in which you do, right? And one of the things I have decided to do is I do 2 blog posts every week. That is 8 every month. And I've done that consistently for the past 4 months. And I can tell you in my sales funnel right now, I probably have about 124. And all of them came from just because I started putting out content. I know that originally, business development guys are guys that do calls, reach out to people on LinkedIn. That seems not to be working again because everybody you reach out to, 10 other person has reached out to them.
Okay.
Majority of the time, that is what happens. We are not the only payment company in the world. There are another 1,000 payment company that does very close to what we currently do. So if I reach out to somebody from Flutterwave, for example, be rest assured that my mail is not the only mail that the person has got. Even yourself personally, do you know how many emails you've gotten from people that want to do something with you and you never respond to it? You see, they're like, oh, another one, then you move on. You probably get some LinkedIn message, you're like, it's getting too much. I don't want to respond to it. However, you are going to take more serious when you need an information. You go online and you search for it, and you find a company that offers it, and you reach out to them. Your level of seriousness is a whole lot more than if they are the one that reached out to you. So you want to make sure that you are visible online. Your business is visible online. A lot of businesses make this mistake. They like B2B. B2B sales guys only think that cold call, email, and LinkedIn is their way to be able to go.
Yeah.
That works, and I think that still works to some certain extent, right? It works especially when you are playing in your hierarchy. For example, if the CEO of Flutterwave send me an email today, I'm going to take it serious. But if a certain CEO sent me a message and the CEO of a fintech company, I'm like, okay, another one, I move on. Trust me, that's what happens majority of the time, right? So you really want to focus your effort on making sure you have enough content that can feed people regardless of the customer journey which they have. Whether it's consultation stage, whether it's awareness stage, whether it's at which they want to convert, you want to make sure you have like a lot of information that are out. And you will see like a couple of companies are going to do this. So you see like companies releasing white papers, for example, doing webinars, for example, B2B companies doing like a lot of webinars these days. It's because they found out that when people come to them, it's a lot better than when they go to people. So you want to build a strategy around people coming to you and you're not going to them. Yes. And SEO is definitely one of the channels in which you can use to be able to do that. And beyond SEO also, you probably just want to create video content. Sit down one day, talk about your business, talk about the pain point that your customers are facing, talk about the solution that your business have, and probably give them a offer. Yes, that can also drive people to come towards you, right? But it's always going to be the game of reciprocity when it comes to business development. Instead of you wanting to go and take from people, offer them something first. Then when you offer them, they begin to see as an authority. You know what you are saying. This person sounds as if they know what they are doing. Then they come to you. So that's the way to go about it.
Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Any other question? I think I saw a question on the chat. Hi, please recommend the pathway that a person interested in building a career in brand strategy can take. Also, is the field too streamlined or do you have to learn anything? Brand strategy. I mean, like I said, brand strategy is definitely like an arm of marketing, right? Is it streamlined? No, I think we need. I don't know if you can still hear me. My video is paused. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, very well, very well.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, so there are a lot of like brand strategies around, but we need more within this sector because I was also thinking about it today. Africa has never built any international brand, any globally recognized international brand. Africa has not been able to build that. I don't know of any. You can correct me. I don't know of any. Dangote is not an international brand. Flutterwave is not an international brand. And when I define international brand, there are 4 ways in which you define international brand. You can look at it from the economic perspective, you can look at it from the cultural perspective, from the marketing perspective, right? And you need to meet like certain standards. So for example, when you go to the US, nobody's using Flutterwave, right? So yeah, we need brand strategists that can help build a lot of African brands into international brands. But the pathway to brand strategy is, first and foremost, before you want to do brand strategy, you must understand product marketing. I think that's like your foundational level. Understand product marketing, then you can then branch out to brand strategy, right? And the reason why you want to understand product strategy is you want to understand the intersection between engineering team, why the product team is building this product, and the marketing team is how to communicate it, right? And from that, you can then pick how you will now want to position the brand in the art of everybody in which they are selling to. If the industry is streamlined, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a brand person can really function in so many ways, right? A lot of brand people start out by being even content writers, for example, right? A lot of brand people are also visual designers who knows how to communicate brand and leverage brand communication pretty well, right? So there are different pathways to be like a brand strategist. But like I said, don't just move to being a brand strategist. I think there are foundational parts that you really want to follow. And that is understanding, having like a lot of breadth before you have depth. That gives you a greater advantage. Because if you decide to go for depth first, you would find it frustrating now going for breadth. It's going to be a lot of information. Like there's going to be like a lot of information. Like, you know what, I'd rather focus on what I know. Right. So breadth, I'll always advise know a bit of everything, then choose what you want to be great at, then go in depth with it. I think that's the pathway for anybody who wants to do brand strategy. Progress, I hope I'm able to answer your question. Yes, do we have like any other question? Does anyone have any other question? You can raise your hand, you can unmute, you can speak. We have a couple of questions, like I said, and we can just go straight into that. Okay, so you can go to the next question. If you have any question, please feel free to just drop it in the message. I can pause for that. All right. So this person is saying, what are the most effective strategies for acquiring new customers in today's markets? This is a question here, like every day when you do like consultation for businesses. And there are two types of business. We all know that is either B2B or B2C, right? So what are effective ways in which you can grow or you can acquire customers? If you are doing a B2C, for example, you know that you have volume as an advantage. So because you have volume at an advantage, you want to, first and foremost, before you even start acquiring customers, you want to identify what are the type of customers that we want. What are the type of customers that you want? And this is why marketing is important, right? I give this example every time. When I started out in advertising industry, the second day I resumed, we got a brief from UBA. I will never forget. I still laugh about this to myself. And they say, oh, this I think they launched Star 919 during that period. And my media planner reached out to me and said, oh, Damilola, please come up with a strategy for us to be able to, reach out to people online. And I can remember, I thought I had a good plan. I was like, we spend money on Facebook, we do this on Instagram, we do this on YouTube. When I submitted the plan, the guy looked at me and he took a deep breath, like, God, who did we hire? And it was so funny because I was like, what's going on? It's like, guy, you came with a tactics, not a strategy, right? You are thinking of, channels and not what we need to do. And I think this is one of the things that a lot of people who are starting the marketing need to understand. Channels should not be the first thing you are thinking about when you are thinking about acquiring customers. There are a couple of things that you need to understand. First and foremost, who are our customers? That needs to be pretty well defined. Having answer to that question would now determine where are these customers? Where can we find them? So, because everybody is running a Facebook ad does not mean you have to run a Facebook ad. What if your customers are not on Facebook? It is less likely anyway because they have like 3 billion people on that platform. And I think it's going to be difficult for you not to have your customers within those 3 billion. However, that might not be the most effective channel for you. Some people just run to Twitter because they know how to run a Twitter ad. That might not necessarily be the most effective channel for you either, right? So the first thing before acquiring customers is you want to understand who your customers are. Then you want to understand what are their pain points, so that you can create communications that talks to their pain point, right? If I need to get a shoe, right, and you are a boutique and you sell shoe, and you are giving me copies that sound well, but doesn't talk about me coming to buy a shoe, I might not buy from you because you are not exactly speaking to my pain points, right? So understanding the customers, understanding their pain points, then you now want to probably dive into, okay, where can we find them? So this question is talking about what are the strategies you can use. And number one is always content marketing, right? You want enough content for you to, to be able to reach out to people who are fit directly into your target audience, right? Content marketing, you want to create loads of content across various channels that you believe that your customers are, right? Then, like I said, that will trickle down into like social media advertising, right? Social media advertising, what channels are they and where can we double down on? Another thing you want to do if you don't have money, like I answered Paul's question, is everybody should be playing the game of search engine optimization. Like you need to be visible when your customers are searching for you. That's one of the ways in which you can get customers. You can acquire new customers. And it is cheap. SEO requires a lot of work. You probably will not see results in the first 6 months or in the first 3 months. However, you know that you will see results like in the future. And that will reduce your marketing spend in the future, right? So you really want to play the huge game of SEO. If you have enough money after SEO, you probably want to do paid advertising. Paid advertising is definitely another channel you want to do. So you want to try out like a bunch of things. And as much as I'm no longer the person who loves paid advertising, as a matter of recently, I tell people before you do paid advertising, just make sure that you have enough money that when you don't get in customers, you are not angry with yourself. Because I find that people know how to do it, but they don't know how to do it well. Everybody just thinks because you put an ad out, that is the end. It automatically leads to conversion. I think a lot of work really needs to be done. And because people don't have enough marketing budget to be able to experiment, some people, what they have is $50. So how do you want to experiment with $50? it's not going to work, right? So it might be very difficult for those kind of people to be able to say they want to run experimentation. So when they do online marketing and they don't get sales, they kind of get discouraged. But it's definitely another channel you want to look out for when you are acquiring customers. And webinars is another way. You want to teach people how to use your product. You want to, if you are a fashion designer, or you want to teach people how to maintain their product, right? If you are an API company, you want to tell people, engineers or business people, why your product is important to them. So you really want to teach them. So these are like some of the ways in which you can acquire customers. And I think there are like so many other ways. Another thing you also want to do is you want to do like a lot of social proof. Social proof in the sense that when some customers have used your product and they come to say your product is great, you want to tell the whole world that somebody has used this product and they say this product is great. Because referral is really great when it comes to marketing. People don't want to be the only one using your product. They want to make sure that somebody has used it, they attest to the fact that your product is great, and that gives them like a lot of assurance that when they also use your product, they would be able to get value for your product. So these and many more are the ways in which you can acquire customers. And that's like on the B2C part, right? If you're doing B2B, like I said, SEO is important. Other would be you are doing like a lot of cold call, you have like database, quality database, right? They have to be quality database of people you can reach out to. Email marketing is also one way. I know a lot of people say email marketing is dead, but if you have quality leads, your chances of conversion is way higher with email marketing. So yes, these are the strategies in which you can use to be able to get customers. Next question. Okay, I think I have a question here in the comment section, so I would answer that. Hi, Dami. Please, can you share some effective growth hacking techniques that are effective for like a catering business? Growth strategy for a catering business. Very interesting. Catering business. First and foremost, you want to make sure you are good at cooking. That is that's the absolute hack, right? Like I said, the product has to be great before people use it. Now, because this is, when people say growth hacking, the first thing that comes to my mind is it has to be a digital product. I have to be able to measure what the impact would look like. But for a catering business, you also probably want to get customers online, right? Let's say you have like an Instagram channel where you document some of the caterings you've done. Who exactly are your target audience, right? So catering is, are you doing pastries? Who are the people that you want to reach out to? Are you proper cooking for like an event, right? Who are the kind of people that you want to reach out to? So if you're doing proper cooking for an event, for example, you're looking at people who are getting wedded, or people who are celebrating their birthday, people that are doing like big occasions that fits directly into your audience. And where are you most likely going to find this set of people? Maybe wedding channels, for example, maybe event channels. People who are about to get married are more likely going to go and search for content around wedding. It could be around clothing, right? It could be around, could also be around maybe event planning, right? So one of the things you probably also want to do is you want to partner with event managers, event planners, right? Event planners will always get gig and they can then give it to you to sort out the catering, right? So that's like one of the partnerships you want to do to hack growth. You want to make sure that you have a lot of event planners, right? And you are also able to give them a great price. It's super difficult to be able to think about a growth hack for a catering business because it's very new. And how do you measure it? Growth is all about having something you can double down to measure, but there is nothing you want to measure when you want to come to catering because it is so outdoor, right? And there's nothing you can double down on it. But if you really want to push growth, I think one of the ways would be for you to partner with event managers, right? You also want to put out reviews of your work. So if you cook for a Davido's wedding, you want the whole world to know that you are the one that did the catering. Don't hide it, right? You want to make sure the whole world knows that this event was planned or was catered for by us, right? You do a couple of content around it, and that will also help people build your brand online, and people who need your services will be able to reach out to you. I really hope that answers your question. I'm not probably satisfied with the answer I've given to you, but I think because it's just pretty difficult for you to think about catering and you think about what's going to be the growth arc for catering, right? So yeah, I think that's that. But Precious, one of the things you can do is if you can send me your email, I can continue to think about this. So can you please drop hello at growth camp email, and you can just like shoot me an email. So during my spare time, I can double down on your question and send you like an entire plan on how to be able to grow your business as a catering professional, if that would help you. So can you please drop our email and let us send us just send me what you want and I will do more research on it. All right, thank you. Next question is which social media platform should we focus on for our target audience, and what type of content performs best? This is difficult because I don't know your audience. It's very difficult because I don't know your audience. So, hypothetically speaking, one of the things, like I said earlier, you want to do is you must have identified who your audience are, right? You must have identified who your audience are. And there are not a lot of social media platforms that we have access to, right? It's either Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest. Since the question is narrowed down towards social media platform, not a lot of us use Twitch, but people that stream use like a lot of Twitch. So it's definitely another platform you want to look out for. I would also say Quora is a social media platform. Nairaland, I'm not going to exempt it, right? How do you now want to place ads on all of this platform? If you understand your target audience, for example, you know where you can find them. So if you want to do a Facebook advertising, there are so many objectives for you running a Facebook advertising. So there are ones for brand awareness, there are some for conversion, there are some that are just for link clicks, right? There are some that are for e-commerce. So where does your product, where is your thought around your market? What exactly is your marketing goal? Do you just want to create brand awareness? Do you want customers lead, for example? Do you want to just gather people's email? Do you want people to call you? Do you want people to send you an email? Once that objective is set, on any of the platform that you practically like want to run your ad, they have like functions for all of these things, right? You select that. Then in terms of content, I would say you should test content. I'm never a fan of just one-way content. Do video, do pictures, don't do one video and don't do one picture, right? Don't do one static image. Do a couple, right? And just one experiment and which one is converting the most. You would absolutely thank me for that. A couple of things I've done this week was run 2 A/B split tests for one of our products, a virtual card product, and the one I did not like the most seems to be the one that's converting. If I've gone with my guts to say, oh, I don't want to spend a lot, I just want to run one ad, I will have gone with the artwork that's so beautiful. But this one is outperforming the other one by almost 150%. So I know exactly what works, right? And that way I've not wasted the company's money. So that's one way to do it. And you can run split test on Facebook. You can run split test on Instagram. You can run split test also on Twitter. Like those features are available in the ad manager, right? For you to run like a split test to say, I want to run 5 different images to the same target audience, and I want to see which one is performing the most. Features are made available, right? So those are like a couple of things that you can do. I mean, we are just limited to 2 content. It's either video, it's either static, right? So yeah, I would say understand your target audience, understand the platform in which you will find your target audience. Another thing you also want to know is where are your competitors running their ads, right? If you see a competitor growing and they continually run an ad on a particular platform, be rest assured that's the platform that probably gives them the highest conversion and you want to double down on that. All right, thank you. Precious Ayo. Precious, you raised your hand. Okay, before, if Precious is not talking,
Hello,
there's a-
hello,
hi,
hello.
Precious. Hi.
Okay, hi, Dami. So I didn't get the message that you said because my network went off. But I think you were talking about me sending a mail, right?
Yes, and I'm going to copy the email and send to you again. Just
Oh,
tell me what you want to do, and I can double down and probably like put a plan together and share with you. Maybe like a one-page plan that would help you in
okay,
directing you on what you need to do as a catering, as a caterer. Right.
okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. I have Bemi raise her hand. However, before Bemi asks a question, please, I would like to answer Shaibu's Isa question. As a business owner, ID of identity, what af- what effect does it cost? In the African context, and that is why it is super important for us as marketing professionals to understand where exactly we're marketing to. Trust is the most important thing. It's one thing that we look out for. And people trust people. People don't trust brands. It's as simple as that. When there is a face to a brand, and you don't necessarily have to constantly put your face out there, right? It's just that people know that there's somebody that can hold responsible for it. You have a chance of, you have a chance. I would not use the word higher chance, but you have a chance of doing pretty well because people know that they can hold somebody responsible. Your business cannot continue to run on anonymous. We don't know who works here. We don't know who owns this brand. We know they sell food. Most especially if you don't have a physical presence, it even makes it worse. So a lot of, and I think the question, like for a lot of ladies who buy like wig online, I know that the majority of people would rather buy a wig from somebody who has a face on the platform, or you knowing the person. You might not know them directly, but just know this person owns this brand, right? You rather buy from them from somebody who just continue to post wig, and there's no human image or nobody has come out to own the brand. So it is important that it's not always important. Like I said, it is in the context of our society because you need to think as an African if you are targeting an African market. Trust is the most important thing to us. We are very low on trust. So I'm going to trust you more if you have what's it called? I'm going to trust you more if you have like a face to what's it called to your brand than if you don't have a face to your brand. Right. So I believe that answers the. All right. Please let me know if I successfully answered your question. Shaib, you can just type in the comment section. All right, give me please over to you.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I didn't know when you said the call. I must have missed out on. Perhaps must have answered the question I want to ask, but then again, I'll just go ahead. So
Please go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm trying to like generate leads for like a B2B, and some of the methods I've used, content marketing, like constantly writing content and running ads. But it just seems like the kind of people that come are not the ones that we actually want to. I mean, in fact, they might not be, not like they're not interested. They're interested in a part of the service we're offering, but they are not willing to stay. Like, there's no, it's as if I'm generating leads that are not even what we are looking for. So I'm just asking, is there something that I'm doing wrong, or is that something you suggest I do? Is a B2B? And I don't know if you could like just give an advice on some of the tips you think can work for me to get actual leads, good leads for the B2B thing.
All right. Thank you so much, Bemi. Great question. I think I've spoken to about this already. So you said a whole lot, and I need to get clarity around what some of the things you've said. So you're saying that you get leads, they actually come in. Maybe some of them try the product, and your retention rate is low. They churn immediately after they try the product. Is that what you're saying?
Some of the, okay, so the thing it has like it's like it's an inviting platform, but it has like a bit where you get to offer loans for these people, but you cannot access these loans until you get to use the platform frequently. So these people are actually coming just because they hear that loan. It's like that's the bait they're coming after. They're not ready to use the platform. They're just wanting the loan. And when they find out that they don't have access to use that loan, they don't even bother using the app till. I mean, there's a point you get to use the app before you can be granted access to that loan. So it just feels like I'm clients that I want to be on my platform.
So you've actually mentioned one of the problems is communication. You are using loan as a bait to bring in people, but they need to do certain things before they get the loan. So your bait is not working right now. It's absolutely not working. Everybody likes to wear the word loan and they think, oh, there's another loan platform. Let me go there and take money from them. However, when I get there, you are telling me I have to do a couple of things on the platform to be able to access the loan. Now, if you want to get qualified leads, one of the things you would need to do is come out to them directly on, we offer loan, however, we need to take this. You would need to do this. What that would mean is that anybody who is reaching out to you are not reaching out because you just offered the loan. It's because they are willing to obey your terms and conditions and also the processes in which you currently have on ground, and they're able to work it through with you, right? So the problem right now I see is communication. The word loan makes a lot of sense, but you're not giving me the entire thing. So when I come to your platform and I realize I can't access the loan immediately I enter, I'm like, wow, this is not what you promised me. You told me loan. You didn't tell me I have to do this to be able to access the loan, right? And they are going to compare you with a couple of competitors who, when they mention loan, they offer loan almost immediately. There are some platforms that when you get into them, you finish your KYC, you are ready to take your first 50,000, your first 100,000, your first 300,000, right? So they know that there are platforms that offers loan almost immediately, but you are not offering loan almost immediately because you want them to do a couple of things. So communication is like one of the challenge I see that you currently have. If you are able to solve that and you're able to come out to tell people these are the steps that you need to take, or these are the things that you will need to do to be able to have access to the loan, then if they want it, you'll be rest assured that when they join, it is not a first-time communication, right? You automatically know if they're going to be your customers. Another thing you want to do is, what's your onboarding process like? Like I tell people, majority of the time, conversion is not a marketing problem. It could be a product problem. It could also be a sales problem. Like, marketers needs to take a break. Like,
There's no good break for us here.
I totally understand you. Like, I wanted to say, company needs to give marketers a break. However, they will, is it that they don't get it? And it is good when you work under an employer that gets it, to know that sometimes it could really be your funnel problem, right? Maybe when people are trying to activate, you didn't provide enough communication or information that would lead them further. Also, the people that have churned, have you called them? Because marketing does not stop when you acquire a customer. Another thing you also want to do is pick up your phone and call 5 of those customers and say, you signed up on our platform, you stopped using our platform, what happened? Like, why did you stop using it? You'll be able to get like a lot of insights on the reason why they are no longer using the product, and that would really, really help you, right? That will really give you like a lot of understanding of what you need to do. Talk to your customers. Don't let your interaction with your customer end at the point where they join you. Always continue your conversation with your customers. That would really, really, really help you. That will help you understand their pain points the more, right? And that will also help you in improving your own communication solution, right? So I think that's that.
Okay, thank you so much. That's answered everything I need. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I mean, that's why we are here. Sonia says executive needs to let marketers breathe. I absolutely agree with you. It's a lot. How do you still manage to market in a market space that is very competitive, e.g. bill payments, apps such as bill points? If you are at Growth Camp, I actually talked about this. There is no market that is too big for you to enter. One of the ways you really want to start entering is you want to have like a niche, or you offer something that is way more different than they currently offer, right? The principle of first thinking is always important in marketing. As a matter of fact, that is one of the things I've learned over the past couple of weeks. I want to start incorporating in marketing. It's the principle of first thinking. And what does that mean? It means that how do people currently do things? How do they currently do things? Like, what if you say we are going to Use Market, what is going to be the first thing that people are going to think about? How do people want to get there first? Then you now think about what is really the alternative? Like, if this is not a solution, what could have been the alternative solution? Right? And one of the ways you want to ask, why do people even want to get to WC2 in the first place? What is important to them? Speed, comfort, right? And those are the questions you probably ask yourself in this kind of product, right? Bill payment. There are lots of bill payments. There is airtime, there are infrastructure payments, there are, what's it called? You want to buy, like, what's it called? Buy power, is that what they call them? Yeah, like a lot of other payments that needs to be made. So you want to understand who are near customers. Near customers are people that they need this product, but they still prefer to go to the traditional means. And there is a reason why they are not using this product that we have on ground. You want to understand it, and you want to reach out to these other people and let them be like your first set of customers, right? You can look for an area in which you're an expert in. You don't have to compete with everybody very early, right? Just get a niche that you believe that you can do better. And it can be as do better could mean that you offer like a better customer support. You offer a percentage discount, for example. Those are like a couple of other things that you can integrate into your own product that makes you stand out from the other ones. You would not automatically dominate the market. It will take you time. However, you will begin to grow gradually, and by the time you catch up with them, they will not even know, because you didn't come out full force to say you also want to be a bill payment app. It is going to be too much. It is going to be absolutely too much. So you want to find a niche that you believe that you can automatically address like immediately, right? It could be people that want to subscribe for your DSTV, for example. As educated as I am, I always find it as a struggle to recharge my DSTV. I have to always call the person that did it for me, because it's just very frustrating, right? And for someone like me, you could say, you know what? You just reach out to me on WhatsApp, send me a message on WhatsApp, because that would have been easy for me. Send the money to my bank, and you are able to like automatically, do my payment for me. So these are like ways you can do it. Then when you have like enough people on your contact list, you can then move them into the app, because then it becomes super easy for them, because they already built trust with your brand. So that's definitely one of the ways in which you can do it. Start with a niche, understand the market, and don't grow too fast. Don't grow too fast and too loud. Grow in such a steady pace that when you catch up with the guys who are in the market, they will not even know. That's the way to grow. That's a way to grow. All right, it's 9:08 right now. We'll be rounding up in 22 minutes. Do we have any other person who have like questions around marketing, questions around sales, businesses that they are doing, and we can move on. Okay, Paul.
So I tried earlier, not to speak about my industry in depth. So it won't be that I'm taking the opportunity to market my. But since your question was like, I should personalize it, so maybe you will get more inclined to it. So I run a startup, Agri-Pella. So at Agri-Pella, we provide access to market for livestock farmers. So we engage livestock farmers with consumer markets, consumer food businesses, processors, and the rest. So we just build a niche around there to aggregate the supply and try to aggregate demands for them as well. So on the supply end, it's easy because every farmer, especially livestock farmers, they want to sell. Reason being that there is no already made market for livestock. Because I used to be in the crop sector before I moved into the livestock, and this problem was what attracted me there, because unlike the crop markets, let's say tomato, for example, if I have tomato now, I'm a big man. In fact, I wouldn't even want to sell. I might want to keep it. I will be giving you the price. So if you don't want, you go. But for livestock, farmers, poultry, for example, they have beds that are ready to consume, but no mama markets. Sometimes they have to cut down because any day your beds spend in your poultry, you have to pay for feed and the likes. Unlike when you have bag of beans or tomato, you are not spending on it like how you spend on livestock. You have to feed your livestock now.
Yeah.
So this is one of the key challenges. So we are trying to create that already made market, have an aggregation of demands to always make things happen for them. On the supply side, no, there's a problem there. So they are willing to interact with me. They message me all the time. Is there any store? Even here in the plaza, right? I supply most of them the frozen chicken. So most of the farmers tend to slaughter. So they will be able to deliver for people that run frozen meats.
Yeah.
So, but the demand side is not as easy as the supply side. Farmers want to sell, of course, but on the demand side, for example, if I should supply a supermarket today, I have to wait for them to sell off. The other person have supplied, I need to wait for them to run out of stock. So it's not as easy to aggregate. And some high-end, I've gone to ShopRite, for example. It's not easy to penetrate them because I know if I get ShopRite with Chicken Republic, we are still on the pipeline. But how do I get like high-end consumer companies, ShopRite, Chicken Republic? So because of course, if I get them, I know that at least with the 100 farmers in our database at the moment, we can be able to be giving them daily already made market. But this demand aspect of things has been the most difficult aspect of things. So what strategy can I use to penetrate the demand aspect so I can aggregate more of it because there is more of the supply?
Yeah. Yeah, good question. So if I get business model is really B2B, and I'm talking about the demand side. So you only cater for supermarket, organization, businesses, not individuals. So for example,
When
if I need, can you provide for me?
if you need, of course, maybe I will just have to either connect you with the stores I've supplied to, or if your demand comes when I'm supplying, I'll just be, it has happened sometimes. People need something and it falls in the period when I'm supplying the supermarket. So I add their order B because individual consumers are not so sustainable except during festive period. Let's say during this Salah now, individuals, of course, we sold around. We sold chicken, a lot of, because no Muslim household is buying one chicken during Salah. They want to buy more. So their demand is good enough to like make this supply happen. But however, the household consumers or individual consumers, you can't write them off because they still hold 30% of that value chain in terms of the consumption. But just the way their orders come, it's not so aggregated as how it would be for the consumer company or restaurants and the likes.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. There's no consistency in their buying, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also a market you really want to look at because I think it's huge. I think there are a lot of households that consume chicken, that consume livestock. What you want to do is you want to have like a platform where you can have them, and it doesn't have to be anything tech. It could just be a Telegram group whereby they only message admin whenever they need. I think there is, and if it means that you are even connecting them with supermarkets in which you are supplying, it means that your business is also giving value to those supermarkets because you're getting consumers to them, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. They would always want to do business with you because they know that beyond them just having like physical store, you also do referral for them. But there is a market I think you are overlooking, which is the cooperative society,
Okay.
right? The cooperative society always feeds the consumer. So my mom is a teacher, and I know that they have like this cooperative society in their school. where like at the end of the month, they share food, they share livestock, right? And all of that. These are guys that you also want to reach out to, like a lot of them. And cooperative society is huge. There's cooperative society in church, there's cooperative society in mosque, there's cooperative society in school, there's different associations that have their cooperative society. And the essence of cooperative society is really focused on two things: mortgage and consumption. Mortgage and consumption. They are not saving to buy house, they're saving to buy food or maybe investment for a couple of people. So you want to look at cooperative society and you're able to sell to them. What cooperative society wants is sell to us on a cheap.
Oh yeah.
So you are directly buying from the farmers. You have leverage. You're not like a third party, right? You're like a middleman that connects society and the business together, and that way you're able to supply to them on a bulk. So I think that is one that you are not looking at, that you should look at. Corporate society can give you numbers if you're doing B2B. Another thing you want to do when it comes to like reaching out to these other businesses would be that I mean, for ShopRite, I've done a couple of businesses with ShopRite. You're not ShopRite Abuja that gives you directive on you selling in any ShopRite. You have to go to your Lagos market and Lekki, right? Yeah. So those are the ones you send in your, they call it their warehouse. You send in your proposal to them. You tell you, and you make it as little as possible. I can supply you this amount every month. I can supply you this amount every week. And I have done feasibility store around your stores in my location. This is how much they currently sell this livestock. I can give it to you at a lower rate. Right? They want to see things like that, because why should they add another chicken when somebody's giving them chicken at 4K and you're saying this going to take it at 5K? It's just going to be another product in the cart that nobody's buying, right? So that kind of volume. I think it's going to be Valentine's chicken that's applied for ShopRite or thereabout. I think it's very popular. So those are like these are the things you need to do. Explore what's it called? Explore cooperative society. Explore cooperative society as another means to you adding to your sales. And I really believe that would really work. Also explore B2C. I know they are not consistent, but they go to market to go and buy these things, by the way.
Yeah.
A strategy I used when I had a gas company was that we took a data of when their gas finishes every household. This can be very difficult, right? But I don't know how you can adapt it. We know certain households, if they buy 12 kg of gas, it only lasts 6 weeks. So on the 6th week, we send them a message to say, based on your past 3 times you bought from us, your gas always finishes on the 6th week. Do you want us to come and pick it up, or you want us to come and refill for you? Majority of the time we get the feedback. 98% of the time we get the feedback, because nobody wants their gas to finish when they are cooking beans.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So you offering that extra value, right, is always a plus. So you can say, oh, how often do you go to the market? It could be around there. How often do you go to the market? Oh, we go to the market 2 times a month. When? Oh, we go on the 30th of every month and on the 14th of every month. Do you buy livestock in any of those times? Oh, we buy it in 2 times. Can I be supplying livestock on 30th and on the 14th? So you can call somebody and say, today's 29. I know you're going to the market tomorrow. Do you want to get livestock? And they say, oh yes. And you're able to get. And another thing you want to do is when you have a community like a Telegram group or a WhatsApp group, whatever it is that you have, like people, right? It could be, oh, is anybody going most usually on Saturdays? That's when people go to market. Oh, today is Saturday. If you are getting livestock, ram, beef, this, we can supply directly to your house. So this should not be an extra load for you when you go to the market. You will find a lot of people to say, oh, I plan to go to the market today. That is on my list, delivered to my house. That's another thing you can do. Just run through various techniques, and I'm sure you will be able to get something.
Thank you so
Okay, thank you so much, Paul. Thank you
really
for asking the question.
Yeah.
One final question before we leave and call it a day. Does anyone have like any question, or we can just ask what we currently have? Okay, so this is going to be our final question for the day. What key metrics should we track to measure the effectiveness of our marketing campaign? Again, this is very vague because I need to understand exactly what you want to do. Are you running awareness? Are you running engagement? Is it a retention ad? Is it an acquisition ad you are doing? I need to really understand. It could even be like financial metrics like ROI and all of that. So what exactly do you want to do, right? If you are, for example, let's say you're doing brand awareness, right? If you're doing brand awareness, one of the things you want to mention, you want to measure is going to be impression, you want to measure reach, you want to also measure like brand mention, right? Those are things that you also want to measure if your goal is really like brand awareness. Another thing you probably want to measure, if it is measurement of metrics, would be clicks, right? You want to measure clicks. You want to mention cost per acquisition, for example. How much does it cost us to be able to acquire these customers? Another thing you also want to measure if you have like a blog is, oh, what's the average time people spend on your website, right? Or on the blog in which you've written. Another thing you want to measure is bounce rate, right? How often do people join your platform and they leave, right? Bounce rate is people not doing more than one page on your site and they bounce like almost immediately, right? If you're running like a conversion ad, for example, what are the conversion metrics that you want to look? Conversion rate, right? Cost per commission, cost per conversion. You want to look at the lead generated, right? Metrics. These are like things that you want to look out for if your goal is really conversion. So the question is so big because I need to be able to narrow it down to what exactly do you want to achieve in your marketing campaign, right? What exactly do you want to do, right? And that would help us understand what exactly you should be measuring. But I would always say, please measure what works and do not measure vanity metrics. What is your campaign goal? If it's profit that you want to, if it's revenue you want to get, please don't measure impression and reach. Don't just measure link click, right? You want to measure revenue as your return on it. So revenue per channel, for example, how much revenue are we getting on Facebook? What is the cost per acquisition on Facebook? If it costs you to acquire a customer that finally buys for $10 on Facebook, and the product is $8, you're already losing. Who is going to pay the remaining $2, right? So these are like the importance of you measuring your metrics, because you want to make sure that your metrics align with your goal. Your metrics should always align with your goal. These are like some of the things that you want to do. These are the things that you constantly like want to do to be able to know that your campaign is effective and is working, right? I hope that answers the question. I hope that answers the question. So, yeah. Well, we are not. I mean, we have 6 more minutes. If there's anyone who have like any question, it will be great. But okay, yes, please go ahead, baby. Final question.
Okay, it's not like I have a question. I just wanted to know if you guys have like a community and you take like mentorships or something.
Yes, we have a community. There's a link to the community right now on the Telegram. Do I take mentorship? I mean, yes. I mean, one of the things I love to do is to help people, right? Just if you're having like any issues, you can just private chat to me. We can also jump on the call if I have the time. Majority of the time, I don't always have the time, but whenever I do, I want to help people in the community to make sure that they are not stranded and they get full benefit from joining the community. The community is free, so I just want to make sure that everybody is winning regardless of where it is they find themselves, and I'm able to offer value to everyone. So yes, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me on the group. You can also send me like a message on Instagram. I think I'm a lot more active on Instagram than any other place. I think my handle is Robert Damilola, if I'm right.
Okay, I'll try.
I think it's Robert Damilola. I'm just going to type it. That's I think on IG. I think that's it. So yeah, pretty much, and that's what we're doing. So thank you so much, guys. I think we've definitely come to the end of today's session. It was good to know that people have questions and I've been able to like answer them. Like I said, what we have is a close niche of community. So if you are not following us on our social media platform, I'm begging you, Temidayo, please, you can put a link to all our social media platform also. We are on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. It's the Growth Camp. Please follow us to get more information on the next session would it's going to be. We have this session every month. We also plan to double down on having once more than a month, but right now I need to make sure that we have like a structured plan on how we can do that. So this is more frequent and more often. Next month we are going to have a guest speaker, somebody who is quite popular within the space, who offers like lots of value, and it's probably going to be happening the same date this next month, 27th. So we can the flyer for that is also going to be out very early so that we can start the marketing and you can join us next month. Thank you so much. My name is Damilola Robert. I am the founder and the host, Growth Camp. I appreciate you guys for joining this call. Was good to know that we are still work in progress and we have questions. We have a lot to be able to, and I'm glad we have like a lot to be able to offer you guys too. So see you next time and have a good night.